Happy Women's Day for all the women. Happy Women's Day for all the men who support women to be where they are. When you don't put barriers to how women live, when women try to define themselves in terms of other identities apart from being a mother, a carer, a wife, or a sister, when women achieve certain identities and we praise them for it and you tell them and they know it, it's just wonderful. In Cameroon, yesterday was a public holiday. No woman goes to work. My sister, they can confirm. The question of belonging, the question of being in a group, the question of solidarity and sisterhood and capacity building at the grassroots is fundamental to the identity of every single woman.
My challenges in my career to date has been more as being a woman, which is further amplified as being a black woman. What we can't afford to do as women or as black women is to check out. Because once we do, we stop having a voice. We need to be there, we need to fight, we need to work together, we need to seek partnership, we need to collaborate if we look at the future. We have to be able to give our daughters the future, we have to give them hope. And by giving them hope, we work hard to secure that opportunity for them. And it is also important that in so doing, we don't forget who we are.
One man came to me and said, have you ever thought of opening a business for yourself? What about care? I said, care? I don't think I can do that. I haven't got qualifications to do that. He said, you've got the zeal, you've got the determination, I can see fire in you, so you can do it. I thought about it. I packed my bags. I said, Fadili, I am opening a care agency. Fadili was like, you are crazy, sis. I said, I think so. As I speak to you now, I've got 5 countries. I've got Cardiff, Newport, Isle of Wight. I know a lot of people that were saying it's far. I said, I came all the way from Africa. There's no way that is far from me when I'm here. If I tell somebody I want to do this, and they say to me, no, you can't do it, I will do it to show them that I can do it.
As women, we face every day, we face struggle in society to prove ourselves. And as women in Sudan, we're now facing a revolution. They are being treated and detained for opinion and for demonstrating for their basic rights, for demonstrating and demanding for freedom, peace, and justice.
In my own family, I never found a sense of belonging. So I searched for it outside. I didn't know what a happy family was. And the people that showed me the attention were other people that were misusing drugs. Although distorted, my perception of friendship was distorted, at least I had somebody who I felt I belonged to. From the age of 13 to 14, I went a bit wild, started running away, was picked up by social services, put into children's homes because I was regarded as disruptive and not conforming. At no time did anybody ask me, as a young person, what was going on for me. And we need to be looking at the reasons why people misuse drugs. My experience I've used to help others and also to set up a social enterprise, designing and delivering training using the skills of ex-users. I wanted my past experiences to count for something, but I didn't want my past to dictate my future. We know there's a huge stigma out there attached to substance misuse and addiction. There's a tendency to judge. But I would ask you just to think about that very often there are underlying situations why people get into this mess.
I use my camera to engage in controversial conversations with different and unique thinking people. My work challenges stereotypes about Africans in the West, but also about unhealthy social stigmas and toxic cultural practices back home. Prior to starting this project, like everyone else, I did an amount of research on this topic, and I came across Ariella Azule's book, The Civil Contract of Photography. Inside this book, there's a topic about rape. She poses the question, has anyone ever seen a photograph of rape? I listened to 6 children survivors of rape 2 weeks ago in Kenya, and each one of them had gone through ordeals that no child should go through, especially that young. One of the girls was a 16-year-old convinced me that yes, I have seen a photograph of rain. One thing you can't tell me now is that ignorance is bliss. Engage in these conversations, because with this you are educating people, you are taking away people's pains and children's pains, unnecessary suffering, but most importantly, it means that you are listening.
When we go to the museum, we need to be presented with an inclusive form of British identity and history. So evidence, lots of evidence does suggest that black and minority ethnic communities have far less interest in museums. For the moment, the museum sector in Wales recognises the concentration is mostly on a dominant white culture, but may have no direct relevance to the lives of many BME people. So I was so happy to work with Tuazation in the museums, because there is an underrepresentation of BME women in all levels, in all sectors, and we do need to change this. When we are inclusive, we have greater diversity of cultural insights, creativity and ideas, perspective and understanding, experiences. Not only will this enrich the museums and individual experiences, but it helps build communities.
We are the first organisation in Wales to set up a service to provide a specialist service to black and ethnic minority women who are fleeing domestic abuse at that time. Of course, when we first started, people said it wasn't going to last, because they said Hindu women will be fighting with Muslim women, African Caribbean women will be fighting with Africans, and so on and so forth. And 24 years later, we're still going.
In the late 1980s, yes, I am that old, I was the organiser for ActionAid in Wales. I was hugely privileged to visit Uganda for 6 weeks in 1989. There had been a terrible civil war that had just come to an end. There was much poverty, very few children, let alone girls, in education. And what really struck me in visiting those communities was that in those communities so many women were leading the way. They were the ones that were speaking to each other from very different ethnic backgrounds about how we share the water at the well, how we help look after each other's children so that we can be growing food. They were taking the lead in coming to the NGOs and asking for support to rebuild schools, to rebuild the clinics. So I look forward to supporting you in your work. I would love to see some of the wonderful women that I've met here today sitting as members of our National Assembly one day.
Being a woman of colour can be very difficult, but it can also be an opportunity. Because but when you are the only one, you stand out. If you are equipped and you are prepared, it becomes an advantage.
Women's Day is the time that women display a certain pride and diverse identities.
We need to stick together. The going is very tough, and it's only the tough that's going to be going. So we really need to stay and be generous to each other.
There's nothing that a woman can do if you put your energy, you put your focus, and you've got people around you who support you. The first person to support you is yourself. If you doubt yourself, you won't do anything. But if you just tell yourself, I think I can do it, you can do it,